to the Super Speedway.
Welcome to episode 307 of the Super Speedway podcast, recorded Tuesday, February 13th, 2024. I'm your host, Erik Young, and I am joined, as always, by my co-host, James Cush. James, how's it going tonight?
It's going good, man. Another season dawns upon us here.
Yeah.
We are, I don't know when we'll be racing. It might be a week from now. I was looking at the weather forecast, and I was like, it doesn't look very good. So, yeah, we might be in for a long weekend. But nonetheless, still Daytona 500.
Yeah, Daytona 500 weekend. We'll get to run the duels. The duels will happen. Looks like those look good.
Yep.
The forecast for Saturday got worse in just the 2 hours since I checked it last, so that's good.
Maybe it'll all come Saturday, and then we can just get the 500 in on Sunday.
Maybe. Truck race should be good on Friday. I think we'll get that one in.
Can we not? I mean, we're 2 for 2 with torrential downpours here.
Right.
Sounds like. So yeah, let's just pray for sun. And if not, then we'll be okay.
Yeah. The best way to make it rain in your area is schedule a NASCAR race.
That's right. We are in rain delay season, so
yes.
Here we go,
James. I know you're not the TikTok guy.
No, I'm not.
But the several TikTok live feeds tonight from the Hauler Parade at Daytona as the haulers roll into the speedway. I'm assuming that there's live feeds on other social platforms as well, but TikTok's the only one that matters anymore. You're not with the times, dude. It's all TikTok. Even Biden's on TikTok now, so come on.
I'm not going on there. It's never going to happen. It will never happen.
Yeah. I can't even get you to join for Natalie Decker videos, huh?
No, my brothers will send me TikTok links in chats, and I won't even look at them. Sorry guys, I'm not going to do that.
So when I share a TikTok link in our group chat, then you're not watching it?
I've usually have seen it on Instagram beforehand. It's typically how that works.
That's funny.
Yes, but no, I tend not to click on them, but I will see them eventually. Speaking of Natalie Decker, did she end up racing the go-kart guy?
I like I said last week, I don't intentionally click on her videos, so I haven't seen the update yet, but apparently she's racing, going to try to race the Xfinity race this weekend, so.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Whenever I need Natalie Decker news, you're my go-to. So.
Yeah, apparently she's in the algorithm for me, unfortunately.
Yeah, apparently.
But Bob was hanging out at the tunnel at Daytona. Live feed on the old TikTok tonight with the Hauler Parade. I think I saw 3 separate TikToks. One of them was one of the hauler drivers was doing a live TikTok from the truck as he was driving in. So,
did you see Bob's latest video? I know how much you love these. Bob was screaming and yelling from a green screened race car. I don't even know what the content was about because I just thought of you and how annoyed you might have been.
No. No, thankfully I didn't see that. I'm assuming I'll probably see it on Sunday.
Probably, yeah. He was taking the spot of Joey Logano and riding around the track. Erik, speaking of social media, I got one more good nugget for you.
Yeah.
According to Zoomf, NASCAR's top followed drivers. You want to take a crack at the top 10?
Well,
this is Instagram. This is Instagram.
I mean, Chase has got to be top, right?
He is number 4.
Wow. Okay. So number 1, who would be number?
It's a great. This is a great list.
Are these current drivers?
Current NASCAR drivers. Notice my verbiage there. NASCAR drivers.
Okay, so Hailie Deegan is probably top.
Hailie Deegan is number 2.
Number 2.
Yep.
Natalie Decker's not number 1, right?
Natalie Decker is not on the list.
Okay, thank God.
Although she might qualify. I don't know why she wouldn't be, but I don't know how many followers that
she's not
has.
A full-time NASCAR driver, that's for sure.
I will say numbers 3 through 10 are Cup Series drivers. That gives you another hint.
Is number 1 male or female?
Female.
Who the heck? Danica?
Tony Bredinger.
Really?
Yeah, number 1.
And she's got interesting.
Yeah, she's number 1 by a long shot.
Well, she's got the Victoria's Secret tie-in, right?
I believe that probably has something to do with it.
Huh. Wow.
Yeah, she's number 1.
She's above Hailie Deegan.
She's by 500,000. Yeah, she's above Haley Deegan.
Wow.
Bubba's third. Kyle Busch is 5, and then Larson, Logano, Blaney, Dillon, and John Hunter Nemechek.
Holy cow.
And then the comment that was underneath it, which I got a kick out of, is Frankie Muniz. All he said was interesting. Which he might have an argument.
Yeah.
He might have an argument. I'd have to look it up. But I saw this list, and when we were talking about social media, it rang. Yeah. So yeah, Tony's pretty popular.
Huh. That's.
I wonder why.
Yeah, I wonder why. Huh. Wow, that's interesting.
Yeah. I know.
Well, I'm still so far.
With a good nugget for you.
I'm so far still a fan of Tony Breidinger, so I'm all right there. I don't hate on her. Like, again, I'll say again, Natalie Decker is not because she's female. I know it seems like it is, but it is not. I am a fan of female drivers. I am a huge fan of Haley Deegan and want to see her succeed. I like Tony. I think Tony does a good job, and I hope she gets a chance. She seems to be doing it the right way. I just don't like Natalie Decker's personality, unfortunately.
One of my favorite things about this podcast, it will never not be one of my favorite things, is that we get to an event like the Daytona 500, which we look forward to for months.
And we're talking about Natalie Decker.
And here we are on a random tangent again. It could be about this. It could be about 1990s NASCAR. It could be about anything. But here we go, where we think we don't have a whole lot to talk about tonight. We just got the, season preview, Daytona 500. That's probably enough. Nope. Here's your tangent for the week. We're going to talk about the top 10 Instagram follows on in NASCAR.
Well, speaking of tangents, this reminds me of what I was going to ask you before we started recording, and I might as well just do it on the show now.
We got there.
We're on a tangent. So, how much are you enjoying the Larry David press tour right now?
Oh, it's been fantastic.
You've got to be enjoying it, right? I'm watching all the clips. It's so good.
I've consumed all the content. I listened to him on Conan. I watched him choke Elmo.
Yeah, choking Elmo was pretty good.
He was on Bill Simmons, which is always one of my favorites. They talked for quite a while. That was really good. Yeah, Larry. And then of course I've been watching Curb.
Yeah. I know I need to get HBO again, especially because last week tonight's coming back too. So I gotta get back on the Max train.
Well, I always credit you with connecting the dots to what my future will hold, and because you always said you remind me of Larry David.
Yeah.
I really loved that. And this, the older he gets and the older I get, it's concerning to me. I hope that I don't choke out a puppet on the Today Show at any point. But
well, you got to get on the Today Show first. So
well, that's true. Yeah, and like Larry said, he deserved it. So.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I've been enjoying all the Larry David content. Yeah. Give it to me.
I watched a couple of the clips today from Conan's podcast on YouTube, and I was thinking of you the whole time. So
yeah, he was grumpy. He had to drive in.
Yeah.
And it was exactly.
Good stuff. Good stuff.
I told my one buddy, Larry David has perfected being a man in today's society.
Yeah.
He's figured it out.
Yep.
And I'll never get there, but I'll try.
So the reason we're talking about this stuff is there's no news. I mean, there's
Daytona 500.
There's sponsor news, I guess. So, but we don't. I'm not Jayski. I'm not going to sit here and talk about every sponsor re-upping, especially now that each driver has like 87,000 sponsors.
Oh, Jimmy Johnson got Creed on his car.
Yeah,
that was a good one.
Jimmy Johnson's got Creed.
Yep.
What was the one today? The 41 car looks pretty sweet.
Yeah, 41 car looks good. Greg Biffle's upset about the 44 hauler having his name on it, even though he's not driving for it.
Just when we thought pot wasn't on Kyle Busch's car anymore, it's back.
Kyle Busch has the market cornered. He's got weed, he's got booze, he's got nicotine.
Yeah.
He's got it all.
Yeah.
If it can be found at your dirty convenience store, that man's got it on his race car right now.
Do you get the Ryan Blaney tobacco-less chew ads on your Facebook like I do all the time?
Oh boy, do I.
Yeah, I get those all the time. So
yep,
gotta love it.
Poor Ryan Blaney. Guy wins the cup, gets cropped out of a photo at game. I mean, he's just and NASCAR fantasy just can't get it right. I checked the league again today, and he's still driving the Stewart-Haas Toyota.
Oh my gosh!
I'm like, you guys, it's the Daytona 500 week, and you're getting people to sign up for your league.
Hopefully they fix it by Sunday.
Fix Blaney. Why is he still driving a number 10 car Toyota?
That's terrible.
Oh my God. I'm like, come on, guys. Come on. Take yourselves more seriously. We don't take ourselves seriously. So.
No, we don't. Well, James, since we don't have any news to talk about,
Let's go, man.
Let's get right into this, man. So this is our annual preseason prediction episode.
I wrote notes.
Yeah, me too. I've got notes down. This is the episode where we make a bunch of terrible predictions that none of which will come true this season. I'm sticking with the same questions. These are the exact same questions we've asked the last, I think, 4 years.
Couple years, yeah.
We changed them a little bit to make them work for every season. I think last year or 2 years ago, but otherwise it's the same. They're the same questions. So,
They always get us in trouble.
Yeah,
which is good. Yep.
I did switch the order, so if you answered first last year on the question, I answer first this year, and vice versa.
Oh, all right.
So I really put the work in today on the notes.
I like it. Good work. Good job.
Yeah. So let's start. And I don't know if this is the best place to start, but it's the first one on the list, and it's always the first one we do. So one big gamble on the 2024 season, and I'm going to go way out in left field on this for my big gamble, just to kick things off and kind of show you the direction I'm going this year. I'm going a little crazy.
All right, let's go.
So my one big gamble is Kyle Larson becomes the first driver to win the Indy 500 and the Coke 600 in the same day.
You're going to have him win both races?
He's winning both races.
Wow. You could have just said he'll beat Tony Stewart's record, but I'll take that. That's a big gamble. Holy smokes, you went way bigger than I did.
How about I'll take that, but then I will go with the smaller gamble, which is that he'll finish on a lead lap in both races.
Yeah, he'll finish all 1,100 laps. Only been done one time.
Yep.
Tony Stewart, what did Tony do? He went fourth at Indy and sixth at Charlotte. So
if there was
the bar.
ever a driver that could win them both on the same day, would you think of anybody else than Kyle Larson?
Yes, the only thing with him is I worry doesn't have the IndyCar experience.
Really? See, I would doubt him more in the 600 than in the 500. Almost, you know?
No, I think he can go and he can have a top 5
He's
finish.
going to get a lot of time running during the month of May in the IndyCar to get used to it, though.
Yeah.
He's only got to make 4 turns a lap. I mean...
At this point, I will say a top 5 does not surprise me, but a win would. Would surprise me. Now, we've got a pretty good gauge on some of our guys going over there. Jimmy Johnson ran really good before he crashed in his one attempt. Kurt Busch, really strong at the Indy 500.
Pit strategy is going to matter too in that race.
Yep. Robbie Gordon was in line to win the Indy 500 at one time. But he wasn't a strictly NASCAR driver going over. And right. Tony's success.
Kyle Larson.
I know. Oh, I know, man. I know. I have as much faith in Kyle Larson as anybody, but winning that race would be so difficult.
Well, that's why it's a gamble. It's not supposed to be realistic.
Oh yeah, you had to go way out there, and
I was trying to come up with something that's like nothing was ridiculous enough for it to feel like it qualified for this choice. So
my gamble.
Yeah.
And I don't think I went far enough now, but that's okay. I'm gonna stick with it because I think it's a gamble, but it's possibly achievable. I don't know. Yours is achievable too. So, my big gamble and my team to watch. Because I go first in the next car. So they're kind of bundled together. Big gamble. Erik Jones is gonna make the final 8. Ooh. I'll say Erik Jones makes the final 8. He'll go from not making the playoffs to the final 8. Is that a big enough gamble?
That's a pretty big gamble. That's a big gamble. I think that's a really big gamble.
I think that team's gonna figure some stuff out, and I think they're gonna be fast.
So your team to watch is Legacy Motor Club, then? I'm
gonna say Legacy Motor Club, and I honestly, Eric, I was trying to figure out what am I gonna put for team to watch.
Yeah.
I like Stuart Haas. I don't have any faith in them right now.
I actually have 2, and Legacy was my backup just in case you went with my first one. So that works out good.
And I went through the list, Eric. I went, okay, what is Colleague doing? Not really confident in Colleague. You can't say Roush Fenway. They came out of nowhere last year. Right. The only thing they can do is make the Final 4 now, I think, and be championship contenders. I don't know if that's necessarily a gamble or a team to watch.
Well, before you run through them all and give mine up, let me ask you this: Erik Jones, does he make it into the playoffs with a win?
Mm-hmm.
You got Erik Jones winning this year.
I think he's going to win a race. Yep.
Okay.
He's got the experience. He's been around long enough. He's a race winner, and if they put good cars under him, there's no reason that guy can't win 2 or 3 races in a season. I firmly believe that.
Yeah.
I really do.
I'm looking
Now
forward to
that
seeing what
said,
that team does.
yeah, that being said, I do know that they're not, the one thing that worries me with them is they are not kind of under the Toyota umbrella in the same sense that 2311 is. They're not they're not going to be in all of the same meeting rooms. They're kind
Do
of
you
going
know
out
that
alone
for
a little
sure?
bit. Yeah, yeah,
Okay,
I
so they've
heard
said okay.
yep, I heard Jordan Bianchi and Jeff Gluck talk about this.
Okay.
And that was Jordan's reporting, was that that Legacy's going to be going on their own just a little bit. They still have the TRD support and everything else, but they're not going to be all in all the same meeting rooms as 2311 and Joe Gibbs. So they're not a satellite team of those teams. They are their own entity. So that could pay off for them in the long run, though. Like, you
Yeah.
know, like Roush Keselowski, I think is similar, kind of going to be structured similarly. You know, they have some engine support and things like that with Yates, but yeah. So I don't know, man. The hardest part about this one is like, why can't we run it back from last year? Because it's so tough at the top of the
Yeah.
sport. Like, there's not a lot of room to break
Well,
through. But
the biggest
let's
thing
watch.
is there's room. There's no room. If you improve, somebody else has to go backwards.
Yes.
There's no, and everybody's so good. Like even Rick Ware Racing is good enough to where, like, I mean, they're the only ones you can't pass because they're at the bottom, essentially.
Right.
So who are you moving? Like, I mean, everybody else is pretty decent. And so my team to watch this year, and it has a lot to do with off-season moves and spending a lot of money this year, including investing in the lower series to help improve their product as well, and picking up a couple big names in the process as far as drivers, as far as future drivers, is Spire Motorsports.
Yeah, that's a good one.
And I think Spire, the one to watch is Corey LaJoie. I think he's shown a lot of improvement over the last couple years. I think that this team is no longer the team that is just doing what it takes to become. I think a no cars from Spire in the playoffs this year is a failure for Spire, and it wasn't like that in previous seasons.
Yeah.
The expectation was not there to make the playoffs. The desire to was, but the expectation was not. And I think this year the expectation is. The problem is as we said, who are you going to move out of the playoffs? Well, I've got some ideas for that, which we're going to talk about here in a moment too. But I think Corey LaJoie is going to benefit from that program the most. I think it's too early on Carson Hocevar to know what he's going to do there. I know a lot of guys are really high on Zane Smith, but I'm not. So I don't know there, but I think Corey LaJoie is going to make some big jumps this season.
I think Hocevar, I wanted to add to that. I think Hocevar can come in there, and he's fast.
Yeah.
Like, he's proven to be really fast. And if he shows up and maybe pushes Corey a little bit, I think Corey needs to be pressed a little bit more out of his comfort zone. And that might be exactly what he needs. You're not bringing in a veteran to steady the ship. You're bringing in a hotshot rookie to, change things up a little bit.
Right.
He's not gonna come in there and be a calming presence. He's coming in there to, he's coming in there to take your stuff. He's going to be a bully. So,
and don't get me wrong,
I like that.
Carson could go out and win 2 or 3 races this season.
Sure, he
I could also see him finishing no better than 20th all season. It's just going to be what shows up there and what that team can do. But I think, there's enough opportunities in this season. You've essentially got 6 races that are legit chances for Corey LaJoie to win.
Yeah.
And then you've got other tracks that they certainly can compete on as well. But I think Corey's a threat this season. Now, am I saying Corey's going to be in the Final Four? Hell no. Corey's going to be, I think he's going to make the playoffs, but I think he's going to be out in the first round. But that's still a giant leap for Spire Motorsports from what they were, a few years ago when they didn't even have a team. They just leased their charters to everybody, so.
And I would add, I would even give him a little bit more grace, Eric. If Corey jumped from 25th in the points and he was even at least threatening to make the playoff.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Like Ty Gibbs in 18, I would say that's a massive success for them. Corey's come a long way in this series. he's to the point now where and I got to give him credit for sticking with this team here and being loyal. But he's at that point now where he's got to start making it happen here in the next couple of years.
Yeah.
Because he's been around you think about it, he's been around since 2017, so he's been around a while. He's gonna have over 250 starts partway through this year. So I mean that's a good Cup Series career. He's never been over 25th in points. That's where he was last year. I'd like to see him press up into that next level a little bit more. And if he's threatening for a playoff spot, that's huge for them.
No, I agree.
Yep, and they're trying, Eric. Like you said, you made a great point. They are trying. They are investing all over the place. They've got money to spend.
They've spent it.
The growth seems extremely rapid now, which could be a good thing, or it could be maybe they're trying to grow too fast. They're not quite ready yet. So I guess we're gonna find out here. But if that guy goes out and wins the Daytona 500,
right,
which he definitely can do,
yeah,
he's good enough to win there. He could have the stuff to get it done. Yeah, Corey LaJoie, that right there, Eric, that changes his trajectory right there. Win the Daytona 500, set for life. That's going to be pretty good.
Yeah, exactly. Money doesn't buy success, but it sure as hell helps.
Yes. Yeah.
So.
Yep.
Next up, pick 2 drivers that made the playoffs last year that won't make it in 2024. James added the stipulation, can't say Harvick, because of course Harvick won't make it, which is fine. I wasn't even thinking that direction, but thank you for noting that.
Yeah, just in case.
So I still think this is an easy one, James.
Well, yeah, you might go chalk here, which I was thinking as well.
Stenhouse doesn't make it. I think Stenhouse is out, and I think McDowell's out as well.
Yeah, the McDowell one, though, he was so good on the road courses. He's spooky.
I know.
He's spooky.
I know, but he still managed to only get 1 win out of those road courses that he was so good in. So,
well, I also said McDowell and Stenhouse, and I feel like that's easy pickings. A couple of guys I wanted to mention, though, that I feel like could be in trouble. I wanted to put Bubba Wallace out there.
Yeah, I think both of those 2311 cars could go either direction.
The problem with saying that about Bubba that we don't know just yet is he ran really, really well last year in the playoffs with a lot of high pressure situations. So is that career growth for him? I think, yeah, that could be, but I wanted to keep an eye on Bubba.
It comes down to the same thing though, again, James, because if a team is going to improve, one has to get worse. Mm-hmm. And is that 2311? It could be.
Yeah.
We don't know.
Yep, it could be. Do we think RFK can have 2 years in a row of success? That's the other one. They seem to be going forward, but you got to do it again.
And we have another wrench that's going to come up with for me later in this as well. In that we have 2 new bodies this season, or at least 2 new noses. I believe Ford is a whole new body, or Toyota. One of them's a whole new body, and one of them's a new nose.
Yep, Toyota's got a new nose, and Ford's is pretty much a new body.
Yeah, and Chevy's the same. So do you then assume that those two the Ford and Toyota are going to leapfrog Chevy because, I mean, Chevy didn't get to make any improvements, or are there growing pains with those 2 new cars? So there's a big variable there too that we don't know.
We're gonna find exactly. We're gonna find out early on. We may know a lot from Daytona. Yeah, and see what. We guarantee Hendrick has the starting front row again, but if that doesn't happen, and the Fords come out fast, that could be a sign of things to come. That could change a whole lot. So we're kind of in a place where a little bit different from where we were a few years ago when we brought the new car on. We weren't quite sure. We just thought the big teams would do their thing again, but it was parity. Maybe this new, some of these new changes will bring more parity back. Yeah, because I felt like we lost a little bit last year. So I guess we're gonna find out here in the very, very near future.
There you go. 2 new playoff drivers. James, you get to go first on this one.
Well, I have to say Erik Jones, because if he's gonna be my gamble, he's got to get in. And then I know Chase Elliott's the easy one. I won't say Chase Elliott. I will say.
Oh, you won't say Chase Elliott? Is that what you said?
I won't say Chase Elliott. No, I won't say. He's the easy one. I won't say Chase Elliott.
Well, to be fair, we can grandfather Chase Elliott in because somebody has to replace Harvick.
I guess you could. Yeah,
because I picked 3 and I took Chase Elliott as my 3rd. So.
Yeah. So
I think we're both in agreement that Chase Elliott makes the playoffs. He's not going to miss it 2 years in a row, right?
Probably no, not especially. He barely missed it last year, and he missed all those races.
Right.
One guy I feel really confident about is Ty Gibbs. I will put Ty Gibbs. He's like my lock. That guy is coming in. And I don't know if he's going to miss the playoffs for the next 15 years. He's going to be around for a while. So
yeah, I'm going to make it real easy and say I'm in the exact same boat as you, except that I picked my team to watch, and I'm going Corey LaJoie makes the playoffs with Ty Gibbs. So
and you think Corey has to win a race, right? He has to win a race to get in.
I don't. Well, yeah, probably. I think Corey does have to win a race to get in because
I think so.
I don't think that they're going to be consistent enough to do it on points. There's too many good teams that'll be consistent enough to get in on points. So yeah, I think he's got to win a race. But again, 6 chances in theory, 6 really good chances for him.
Mm-hmm. So some guys that we didn't mention that didn't make the playoffs last year, I think we should mention. Yeah. Daniel Suarez.
Mm-hmm. I think Daniel Suarez is majorly on the hot seat this year.
He definitely is on the hot seat. I could not agree with you more.
If he doesn't make the playoffs, he's not in that car next year.
I guarantee you he's not.
Yep. Because we already know, and I think this was talked about. I think it was DBC talked about this, but Ross Chastain's got a long-term contract. He's not going anywhere. He is the future.
Sponsor.
Yeah, he is the future right now of that team. So that leaves one.
Yep, and Shane Van Gisbergen's knocking at the door.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. They're looking for a place to put him, and unless they're buying another charter, he's getting that ride. So Daniel Suarez has got to make himself worth buying another charter for that team.
Speaking of hot seats, another driver I want to mention.
Yeah,
Alex Bowman. You think he's on any sort of hot seat?
No, because I don't think that. I've given up on thinking that he's on a hot seat, James, because I've thought he's been on a hot seat every year of his career, and he seems to always get chosen right away and signed early. And no, I don't think he is.
I can never figure him out. I've said this.
I think he's got some stuff locked in a safe on Rick Hendrick or Jeff Gordon,
maybe,
or Dale Jr., and he is just gonna keep holding them hostage. No, I don't know. I'm joking, but James, Rick has proven with this lineup that he's pretty comfortable with what he's got. Yeah, I mean, look at the time he's given.
Ally's happy.
Yeah, look at the time he's given William Byron to develop, and it's worked. And yeah, Ally's happy. They've got it. They've got that name on the car throughout most of the season. Yeah, I don't think he's. I mean, if he goes up and just finishes 25th and back all year long, sure, he's going to be on the hot seat. But I think Bowman's good enough to be close enough to not lose his ride.
Wasn't he leading the points through like 10 races or something last year? 10 or 12 races?
Yeah, until he got hurt.
And that's the thing with him. You could tell me that guy's going to win 15 more races in his career, or he's going to win 0. And I'd say, yep, I don't, yeah, sure. Either way, I don't know which way to go.
The thing is I think he does have, he's not a Kyle Larson, but he's got pretty good ability, and he's driving a Hendrick car.
He's got, you know what? He's got like a Truex Dale Jarrett thing.
Yeah.
And he's young yet in his career. Mm-hmm. Like those guys didn't take off until they got a lot older. Maybe that's it. If you stick with him, maybe
consistent.
Yeah, he doesn't crash a lot. He's just, you're right. He's just consistent.
He's Ricky Rudd,
Ricky Rudd's another
Jeff Bodine, one of those guys that's just there.
Terry Labonte has 2 championships in this sport. He has 22 career wins. That's like another. Yeah. Like maybe he's Terry Labonte. I don't know.
Okay, so could you see is Alex Bowman going to win a championship before he's done?
I don't think so. I feel confident.
But would you be surprised if he did?
No, because exactly. I don't know what the heck to do with it.
Right. I'm with you. I don't think he will either, because I think there's just too many guys. But he's Alex Bowman is our underdog every year, and he shouldn't be.
He's always a question mark for me. I don't know what to do with him. I don't know where to put him.
Alex Bowman as the underdog is like, it's almost like now I can't even think of his freaking name.
No.
Number 20. Jesus.
Chris Bell?
Chris Bell, yeah. He's the underdog like Chris Bell. He's good. He's there. He's in the running. But we forget about him.
Yeah, I got a lot of confidence in Chris Bell now. That guy, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what the heck to do with that guy. So some other drivers I'll mention really quick that we didn't put in our playoff, Eric.
Yeah.
We didn't put Austin Cindric in.
Yeah, I'm okay with that. I think he's another one on the hot seat.
Yep, we didn't put Austin Dillon in. Chase Briscoe, we did not put him in.
Nope, I don't
Yeah.
think Stuart Hoskar makes the playoffs.
Noah Gregson, we didn't mention him. And that's pretty much it. Harrison Burton is, I think
No,
he's on the hot
he's
seat.
on the hot seat as well. Those three rides, I think, are the big ones to watch this year. There is no way that the flagship car at Penske continues to be mediocre for another season.
The two car?
Yeah. That's the flagship Penske car. There's just no way that he's got to perform this year. And I realize that his dad's in the shop and that helps, but I don't think it's enough.
You could always put Cindric over in the 21 as well.
That's
and
true.
Bring somebody else in like that. That is a fourth Penske car.
That is true.
That is, so Austin. I think Austin's safe. I don't think he's a hot seat guy. I think he's gonna have a place somewhere. It's hard. I don't know. There's a handful of guys on the hot seat, but I can't imagine there's gonna be a lot of drivers moving around next year just by looking at it. Remember we had a good year that there was a couple of years where we didn't know what Keselowski was doing. Speaking of the 2 car. And we're like, oh, he's going to leave. And then he stuck around one more time. And then he finally left. I don't see that with this season. I don't, Hamlin's not going anywhere. Bell's not going anywhere. Hendrick's good.
Yeah. I don't see any surprise retirements coming.
Unless it's Truex, he's the only other one I would see him retire. Could see him retire, but that would, if that seat opened up, that would cause a ruckus a little bit. But other than that, there's not musical chairs going on this year like there has been. So anyway, those are. We tangented. We went on another tangent. So anyway, there you go. Some drivers. We've talked through the whole field right there, Eric. Look at that. We covered everything.
Right. I'm trying to filibuster here a little bit because I'm trying to find something here. I wanted to look at I'm pulling up the entry list for the Xfinity Series for Daytona. So, you're talking about that, but let's look at drivers in the Xfinity Series and what they're going to do next season, James, because some of these guys are going to be moving up sooner than later. Yep. So, Xfinity Series, Cole Custer, never know. Another opportunity for him.
Yeah, maybe.
Sam Mayer. Probably still too early, but if he goes and wins a championship next year.
Yeah, I don't know where you put him though.
Well, I'm saying though, you've got 3 drivers we just mentioned that are in the hot seat.
Unless you say, that could be Suarez.
Suarez again, probably Van Gisbergen goes in there, but who knows?
Probably. Yeah, we'll see.
But you got Harrison Burton, you got Austin Cindric. Cole Custer's a Ford driver, just saying. Sammy Smith. Oh, no, Sammy Smith's already going up, right? Yeah, Sammy Smith. No, Sammy Smith. You got Sammy Smith.
Yeah, he's not ready yet. He's got a little bit of
You got a whole season going, so who knows what happens in the season. Sheldon Creed.
He's not going
Sheldon Creed.
You never know. Lights the world on fire this year.
Yeah,
I'm just saying, James, these are guys
I like him,
that it could potentially go somewhere.
Yeah, sure.
Those are the big ones.
I think Chandler Smith is the one that should be mentioned. Chandler Smith would be another one.
Yeah, Riley Herbst.
Because Chandler's coming back over to the Toyota camp. I think he's going to have a monster. I think he's got the potential to have a monster season.
Yeah.
With Gibbs. I think that's your John Hunter Nemechek. That could be your John Hunter Nemechek of 2024.
Josh Williams. I mean, he could light the world. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. He's already got his cup seat. He's fine.
Yeah.
He'll be happy doing what he's doing.
So anyway, I mean, there's guys that could fill those roles. Those guys are not going to be able to be mediocre again this year. There definitely is. There definitely will be some shuffling at the end of the season. No way all 3 of those guys perform this year. So
no, yeah.
Who will be the first driver to win their first race this season? I feel like it's a cop out to go with my pick from last year, but I'm going with my pick from last year.
Take one pick and I'll see where you're going. I'll go different.
Well, I got to go Ty Gibbs because he's winning this season, right?
Oh yeah.
He was my big gamble last year. And I said he was going to win in the first 6. I feel like that's not a big gamble to say that this year.
No, I think he's coming. He's going to
win sooner than later, and I would not be. Now, again, we had the Daytona 500 this weekend. that could completely throw a wrench in that. But he's my pick for the first time winner this season.
All right. Well, for fun, I'll say, listen, I think Ty Gibbs is gonna win.
Yeah.
But for fun, let's say Josh Berry beats him just for fun.
Interesting.
Because he's got Rodney Childers.
I don't think Josh Berry's winning a race this year.
Well, he's got Rodney Childers, right? So that 4 car technically should outperform the rest of those Stewart-Haas cars. Maybe they go to Phoenix, and who knows? Have a good day.
SHR is going to be winless this season.
Now, that goes against everything I said beforehand with them not making the playoffs and things like that. But for fun, I'll say Josh Berry.
I don't think so. Don't think so, sir.
All right.
What will be their best race of 2024, James?
Oh my god!
I know these ones are tough, but I think I have good picks for both of them.
Did I say Kansas last year?
I don't know. We were pretty high on the Daytona cutoff race last year, but remember that's not the cutoff race this year.
I know.
So
it's Darlington.
Yeah. And I think one of us. Oh, that's right. Your big gamble was last year was that North Wilkesboro would be such a good race that we come back. And hey, we're coming back, but it wasn't a good race.
I was half right. This is going to be for fun. I'm going to say this one just for fun. Spring Bristol.
Oh, okay.
It's going to be the best improvement.
Did you see they're repainting the walls of red and white?
Yes, they are. Yeah.
So no black on the walls.
I've got a lot of faith in the 1.5 mile packages, though, man. Those are still going to be really good races. You could say Atlanta, Las Vegas. Yeah, all those races are very exciting now. But I'll say Bristol Spring. We're getting rid of the dirt. I'm feeling good about it. Let's go there.
So I won't be covering the race at Bristol as I had originally planned, but there's still a small chance I might end up there for that spring race. We'll see.
Oh, that'd be cool.
My prediction for best race of the season, I'm going to go with the Coca Cola 600, James.
Ooh. Well,
I'm going to go with the Coca Cola 600 because, not only is Kyle Larson going to win it after winning the Daytona 500, there's going to be a lot of attention around this race because of the Indy 500. And, the Charlotte's just perfect for this package right now. This race has been good despite how long it is. I think that's my pick. I think it's a good pick.
All right. I think so. Yeah, with your circumstances that you've laid out here, I think you're in a good spot there. So yeah, Coke 600. Why not?
What will be the worst race of 2024? And James, I'm using the schedule realignment this season as my reasoning for this pick.
All right, let's have it.
My worst race for the 2024 season will be the Watkins Glen playoff race.
Oh, I always like Watkins Glen. That's always tough.
I think that the road courses just aren't as good anymore with this car and this package, and the fact that this is a playoff race is just going to totally just fall flat as far as expectations.
Eric, we forgot one possible best race that we should mention.
Brickyard 400?
The Brickyard 400.
It could be great.
It could be great.
Could be awful.
It could be terrible.
Could make either one of these lists.
Yeah, it could make one of them. Yep.
Do you think that the repave at North Wilkesboro improves that race?
Well, I'll tell you my worst race and then I'll answer.
Okay.
My worst race is going to be Spring Martinsville because I don't have any faith in the short track program.
Yeah, that's
right
a really
now.
good pick.
And that's hard for me to say. I love Martinsville.
Mm-hmm.
I love that we went to Wilkesboro. I love Bristol. I love all the short tracks, but this package now.
Neither of us picked Richmond, by the way.
I know. I know. Well, Richmond. Well, Martinsville's been pretty bad. Now, I hope I'm so wrong that you come on here and you laugh. And you give me all a hard time because nothing would make me happier than seeing Martinsville be really good.
Yeah. I hope I'm wrong too. I hope Watkins Glen is excellent.
Yep. I just don't like the rules package right now. And I don't think the changes are the changes could work, but by the springtime, I don't know if we're going to see it just yet. So I guess it's wait and see, but I will put my money on Martinsville not being very good.
Okay.
And I hope Wilkesboro is good. I really do.
Yeah, me too.
But I just don't know if we're going to get there. And who knows, Eric? Maybe they change the rules, partial way through the season, and we see some changes. That would be hopeful.
Yeah.
But And maybe a really bad Martinsville race in the spring is the catalyst for that. Who knows?
Right? Just put
You know?
put more horsepower in them. That's all we need.
That's the yep. Denny Hamlin. That's what he says.
Yep. Denny Hamlin knows everything.
He does.
Who will be your final four?
I have to go first for this.
You have to go first for this.
I struggled with this one. I don't know if you did as well.
Yeah, I did.
I struggled. I really did. So I'm gonna say I'll put Larson on there first.
Okay.
And I mean, what am I supposed to do?
Yeah, I'm with you. I think Larson's in. Larson's a lot.
And then I looked at William Byron, and again I said the same thing. What am I supposed to do? He led the series in wins last year. He was really good in the playoffs. I got to put him back in. Is he? I don't think he's gonna fall out. I really don't. So those two I got in.
Okay.
Then I really struggled from there. I know Dale Jr. is riding high on Ryan Blaney. I can't get there with Blaney just yet. So I got Blaney coming out. I think Christopher Bell makes another run at it. I think Christopher Bell is going to come back one more time.
How can you not pick Christopher Bell?
It's really hard.
He's been in the last two.
And I looked at all the JGR guys. Hamlin's getting older. Truex is older.
Mm-hmm.
Ty Gibbs is going to have a good season. I don't think he's ready. If you're going to put a Joe Gibbs car in there, get the guy who's been in there year after year, who's hungry.
Yeah.
I'll take Chris Bell, and he's getting better. So Christopher Bell, I'll take him. I know some friends of ours are going to kill me for not putting Blaney in this hunt, but I don't see. It's so hard to repeat, Eric.
Yeah.
It really is. I think it's easier to be sustainably good like those three guys are. So I went chalk, and I think those three are pretty sustainably good.
Mm-hmm.
I think they can come back and do it again. One more for you. My fourth pick. I'm not giving up on RFK.
Okay. You're putting him in the final four.
I think Brad Keselowski. Comes back roaring back, and he's like our new entrant into the final four.
I hope so, man. I hope you're right.
He's at that age. He's at that prime, 39 going on 40, like at the peak of his powers. That team's on the come up. We got to get a Ford in there somewhere. Can Penske win 3 in a row? Maybe not, but maybe that's where RFK can slip in the Ford spot. And maybe that Mustang is really good. And maybe Brad Keselowski rides it all the way to a championship 4 appearance.
Yeah. I like that pick.
Yeah. Yeah. I couldn't go chalk the whole, I was so disappointed in myself after I looked at it and I said, I can't come back with 4, a repeat, but it's so hard, Eric. It really is.
Wow.
It really is.
You might not have been able to, but maybe I can.
Let's see what you got.
So I got Larson and Bell in there. Kyle Larson, feel like it's just a lock all the time.
He's got to be considered a lock. Yeah.
He's arguably our best driver right now. You got to put him in there. I would have no qualms about putting Chase Elliott in here, but I just think the field's too tight to be able to get 200 cars in here, even though it'll probably happen. Or 300 cars, but we'll get there. Chris Bell, again, got to be in there. At this point, he's proven that he's destined to make the final 4.
He can navigate it. Right?
Yeah. Yep. So
I feel better. Well, maybe I shouldn't, but I do feel better that you also think that Bell is a final 4.
The only thing that I got on him is that, again, keep in mind the playoffs are different this year. The rounds are different this year, and will that affect him?
Could be.
He's not going to be good at the same cutoff races because they're not the same cutoff races. So we'll see.
Yep.
I got to put Byron in there. Holy
crap!
Yeah. I feel like Byron's got to be in there. I think Byron is. I mean, can I give you a preview? I get to go first in the next one. Byron's my pick for the championship.
Wow.
He's my guy. I think this year. That's where I'm going. I think he's the guy to beat at this point. I think they just keep getting better, and there's not anywhere else to go from here. He made the final 4 last year. The only place to go is up, and that's the championship. So,
is William Byron the Detroit Lions of the 2024 season?
Maybe.
Where 2023 was his breakout run.
Yeah, could be.
Now he's going to make a run to the championship. I love the synergy. That's what I like to hear.
Could be. And then, so my 4th pick is a cop-out because I am going with Penske filling that role. But
Joey.
I can't decide between Joey and Blaney, man.
Joey.
I think they're not both going to do it, but one of them is. One of them's going to be there. Penske's going to be in the Final Four, and it's not going to be Cindric. So it's got to be one of those two. It's really, I hate to take Blaney. I hate to take the past champ out. But I got to lean on Logano, man. That guy, he didn't have a great season last year, and he's not going to have two of those in a row. So
that's what he does. He has a monster season, then he steps back a little bit and comes firing back. So I think it's pretty realistic.
Yeah. So I'm putting Logano in, but yeah, Byron's my pick for the champion this year.
Wow.
So
all those years I was picking Byron too soon, and here you've done it.
Right? You going all in on Keselowski?
No, I can't do it. I can't pull the trigger on Keselowski.
No number 2 for Brad, huh?
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you went first. I'm kind of sad you went first because I was going to take Byron as well because I do think that he's.
Did we not? We both picked him last year, didn't we?
No, I didn't. I famously didn't because I said said he had because I picked him.
I picked Truex, I think.
Yeah, I kept picking Byron in the years before, and then last year I came in mad and I said, "You got to prove it to me now."
That's right. That's right.
I can't keep putting you in, and I can't keep singing your praises until you have a good year. Well, now he's finally done it.
That's funny.
Yeah, Byron's got everything to prove. I watched that Netflix documentary, and I came away with two things. And kudos to Netflix for sucking me in, and I probably fell for it. But I came away thinking, man,
you're a Ross Chastain fan now?
No.
Denny Hamlin fan?
No, God, no. Oh my God, no. Golly, man, that guy loves the camera. Holy smokes!
I mean, to be fair, Denny did give him unlimited access.
Ugh.
So of course he's the star. But anyway, go ahead. I'm sorry.
And he gets Michael Jordan in there too.
Well, yeah, of course.
Nice. No, I like where the trajectory of William Byron is going. He's fast. He wins races. Mm-hmm. He knows how to close. That team has one thing left to do.
Yeah.
And that's to go get the championship. And I just can't imagine it. It might not be this year. It might be 2 years from now. It might be 3 years from now. That guy's going to get one. So I'm not going to make the mistake I made last year where I stepped away and said, no, I know you're good. Prove it to me. Now I'd rather be a little early again and say, go show me you can get it done. It's going to be tough, man. Winning the championship is really, really hard now.
Yeah.
But that guy is going to have one that guy's going to have one. And I also think very strongly that Larson's going to get two. So it's going to be, maybe we're in an era where those two are going to fight out here for the next year or two, yet. So,
yeah, I mean, that's the thing is we both picked 4 and there are 6, 8 more that could very easily do it.
Oh, easily. Yeah.
It wouldn't even be a surprise.
We know how the playoffs break. It is such a challenge to navigate through the playoffs.
Yeah.
Kyle Busch, we haven't mentioned him very much, but if that guy's got a fast piece again this year,
he won 3 races last year with a new team that did nothing the year before.
Yeah, why can't Kyle Busch sneak his way in there?
Yeah.
Chris Buescher, I mean, that guy figured it out last year. Why can't he step up? The next step up for him is a Final Four appearance. Like that's the natural step up for him. It's just very, very tough.
We like to poo-poo Denny Hamlin and make fun of the fact that he hasn't won it, but the dude's been there every year. He's had a shot.
Yep. He is going to be around. And if you swapped Bell with Hamlin, I wouldn't be surprised. Or you swapped Hamlin with, Kyle Larson has bad luck. Somebody's got to come through. Yep. And Hamlin will be a factor through the round of 8. There's no doubt about it. He's going to be hanging around.
Martin Truex Jr., not a surprise if he was to make it to the Final Four and get another championship.
He was the regular season champion.
Yeah.
That was literally 10 races ago. We can't completely cross him off. He's not done. What does Ty Gibbs look like? Right. Is he going to be a force? And then, we can't count out Ross. I joke about Ross.
That's the thing. Like Ross has got, he's got
that team's building.
He's got a great sponsor this year that, that's going to give him the support that he needs to get there too. And if he pulls his head out and gets things going in the right direction, he could be a threat for sure.
That car should be fast.
Yeah.
So, you know, that team should be able to make some noise. Like, that's a legit team. That's a top 10. That's a top 10 team. And then we haven't even said Tyler Reddick's name. He's again, you know, all those guys, Eric, every one of those guys I listed, you could say, yeah, that's a Final Four team. That's a Final Four team. And you run out, you get all of a sudden you get to 16 and you're like, crap,
right.
You filled out the entire playoffs with Final Four teams.
Yep.
And you know, there's going to be disappointments. You know, we didn't have Chase Elliott breaking his leg last year, missing time, getting suspended.
Yeah, that's the thing too, is we don't, I mean, anything like that can happen as well that we aren't even seeing coming. I mean, shoot, Kurt Busch retired in the middle of the season, you know? I mean, we didn't see that coming a couple of years ago.
Yep.
So, yeah, who knows,
who had William Byron winning 6 races last year? Like, okay, maybe he wins 3 or 4. Nope, he bested his career total.
Yeah.
And then Ryan Blaney, man, he's our champ.
Yeah.
He's the champ. He got the job done. So who's to say he doesn't go on a nice run? You know, like it's any of those guys. We got to really, you know, it makes me enthusiastic for the season because we've got so many talented teams, talented guys, guys that can really get the job done. You know, I'm really looking forward to what this season has. It's so tight. I just think it's better than it's ever been as far as talent.
Yeah,
we're right there. We are doing pretty good.
Yeah, I agree. With that, James, it is Daytona 500 weekend. We got NASCAR racing on tap. I mean, pretty much anything you can dream of is racing this weekend. As far as NASCAR is concerned, the Truck Series kicks things off with the Fresh from Florida 250 on Friday night, 7:30 p.m. on Fox Sports 1. Well, 6:30 p.m. on Fox Sports 1, but the race is at 7:30. NASCAR Xfinity Series on Saturday, the United Rentals 300. That is on Fox Sports 1 as well, 4 p.m. Eastern time for television, 5 p.m. for the start. And the Daytona 500 is on Sunday on Fox. 2:30 p.m. is start time, 1 p.m. is airtime on Fox. We're going to make our picks, James, and we're going to change it up this year. I've retired from picks because I've been so bad at it. Rather than make it a competition, we're going to leave the competition to the Fantasy League this year. We'll make our picks for the races. We'll pick each week. There's no rules to it. You don't even have to pick one driver. If you want to do a drivers to watch, here's the guys that you're thinking. Whatever. We're not going to keep track of score or any of that stuff. We just want to give you guys some advice on who we think is going to perform well on the weekend, and take the competition out of it. Like I said, we'll leave all that to the fantasy, for those folks like Barron Speedway and James and those guys who are good at it, not me. But I'll participate in that as well. So the Daytona 500 is this weekend. I get to pick first just because I lost last year. Again, not that it matters. But James, I'm going to pick 2 because they're both sentimental favorites for me. I'm going to pick the one that I'd really like to see happen, and then the one that I'd like to see happen and is probably more realistic. So I think he said it or tweeted it or something. 20 years of trying, James. 20 years of trying.
Yeah. One
driver won in his 20th year of trying the Daytona 500 in an RCR car. And this year, Kyle Busch makes his 20th attempt in an RCR car. So I'm going to go Kyle Busch as my sentimental pick for the Daytona 500. Yeah. Realistically and also sentimentally, Brad Keselowski gets a Daytona 500 win this year.
Yeah, man, he was been so close a few times.
So those are my 2 big picks for this weekend.
Yep. Kyle Busch and now Brad at the same time. They've entered when Tony Stewart was getting to the end of his career. A lot of the sentimental people were like, yes, this is the time. This is it.
Yep.
This is going to be the one. And it just never happened. And I really hate for both of these guys to not be able to etch their name in the 500 championship.
Realistically, Brad Keselowski will push Chris Buescher to the Daytona 500 win this weekend.
Yeah, Brad. I don't know. Brad probably wants it bad.
You think he'd wreck his teammate to win this one?
I mean, it's the 500. I mean, he got wrecked pretty hard by his teammate, you know, a couple of years ago. So yeah, it's man.
He can spin him on the backstretch. He doesn't have to worry about grass anymore back there.
Right, exactly. The last 4 Daytona winners: Chris Buescher, Ricky Stenhouse, Austin Dillon, and Austin Cindric. Not the biggest of names.
No.
in the sport. I will. Well, I wanted to say Brad. Brad can be my sentimental pick. I think, man, oh man, Bell by Boxton, because both the drivers you picked I like.
Well, you can pick them. There's no rules.
Yeah, there's no rules this year, right? We
Yeah.
can just do whatever we want. I still want to vary it up a little bit. I want to give people another option. I talked about him obviously earlier when we were going through the podcast. Why can't Erik Jones win this race? He's won Daytona before a handful of times.
That's a good one.
Let's put the 43 car in victory lane.
Okay, I like that
Erik
one.
Jones is good at the speedways, man.
Let me give you another one that would be a good pick. What about Justin Haley?
Justin Haley would be good.
Rickware Racing.
He's good here.
Get himself a Daytona 500 win.
He might be hanging around.
Bubba Wallace, he's been right there.
If we don't say Ryan Blaney, we're again doing the champ a disservice.
That's true.
He is always there, and he wins Talladega. He has been very close to winning this thing. Man, wouldn't that be something? Win the championship, get the 500 out of the way. You've got two of them knocked right out of there, two pillars.
Yeah.
Why not Ryan Blaney?
What about Denny Hamlin? He's got 3, right?
Yep, Denny's got 3.
Why not get a 4th?
Yeah, Denny would be a good one.
Riley Herbst is going to be good here. Another Rickware Racing car.
Herbst will be good. Yes, he will. Yep.
I mean, let's see. Who's Joey Logano?
Joey's always good here. Joey's got a 500. He's got one of them.
Who's not going to win here? Let's see. Probably not Josh Berry. Corey LaJoie could win the 500.
I don't think Ross is good here.
Probably not. Kyle Larson's not going to win this race.
No, he tends to find trouble in the big race.
He won't win this.
I wouldn't be surprised if he did, but yeah. I don't feel good about Stenhouse repeating.
No.
I don't feel good about Gibbs yet.
Carson Hocevar he won't win this. He'll wreck in this race.
Alex Bowman's always fast. He never finds his way to the end.
Jimmy Johnson's racing this race. Jimmy Johnson could win.
He's not locked in yet. He's not.
That's true.
He's got to race his way in, but he'll get in.
Yeah, get in.
Jimmy Johnson's about to strap into a Toyota.
David Reagan in the 60 car.
Oh, David Reagan's in this race. Yes. Yep. Well, he's got to race his way in too.
Dude, the list of drivers that can win it is so much longer than the drivers that can't.
Well, it's the same conversation we have round and round.
Todd Gilliland. Todd Gilliland could win this race.
Todd Gilliland could. We said
Kaz Grala's in the other front row car.
Yep. Corey LaJoie, we had said.
42 cars attempting to qualify, so 40 will run, right? I believe 40 is the number.
2 go home. We don't know who's in the 44 yet.
That's right. It won't be Greg Biffle. That's all we know.
We know. Yeah, he didn't videotape his contract signing.
Right.
For evidence. Yep.
So.
Some people will get that joke, Eric. Some people will get that joke. You got the joke.
Oh, yeah.
Some people will get the joke.
Oh, yeah. I can't wait, man. I hope the weather's good. The Daytona 500 weekend is the greatest weekend of the year.
Yep.
So excited. I'm bummed I'm going to be out of town for it, but I will be doing everything I can to watch as much of it as I can live. And if not, I will be catching it as soon as possible. So lots of great racing. I mean, just all 3 races, super excited about them. ARC is in town as well this weekend. I believe they race Friday. Is that when ARC races? I don't know.
Yeah, ARC should be on Friday. Yep.
Yeah. 76th season for the NASCAR Cup Series. Let's see. I'm looking to see if I have the NASCAR news and notes came out early before the podcast tonight, so I'm looking to see if there's anything really interesting in here. The Daytona 500 pole winners. 2023 Alex Bowman, 2022 Kyle Larson, 2021 Alex Bowman. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. is the last driver that wasn't a Hendrick car to win the pole in 2020. Then William Byron in 2019, 2018 Alex Bowman, Chase Elliott 2017, 2016 Chase Elliott, Jeff Gordon 2015, and then Austin Dillon in 2014, Danica Patrick in 2013. So,
I was there for the Danica one. That was a thing. That might have been the most important pole ever won. That was actually a thing when I was down there.
Yeah, that's a big
Seeing
deal.
her out front. Yeah, she was leading the race. Yep.
Who was the last Daytona 500 winner to win from the pole, James?
Oh boy, it's been a long time.
It's been a long time.
Probably Dale Jarrett, if I had to guess.
Wow. Dude, that was
guess.
amazing. Dale Jarrett 2000.
Oh, I was right.
Incredible.
Sweet.
I'm really impressed. I would have never guessed that in a million years.
Yeah, Dale, you think about Dale Jarrett, he was really freaking good at Daytona, and he had fast race cars all the time. So.
The last two times it happened was back-to-back. Jeff Gordon did it in 1999, 1987, and 85, Bill Elliott did it. So.
Yep. There you go. Wow.
It's incredible.
I swear to God, I wasn't looking it up. I swear.
I'm impressed. Yeah. I'm really impressed. That's awesome.
Oh, good. I'm glad. Thank you.
Wow. Let's see what else we got here. Anything interesting? 7 Daytona 500 champs will be taking the green flag this weekend. Denny Hamlin has 3. Jimmy Johnson has 2. Again, not locked in, but
I was there for one of them.
Ricky Stenhouse Jr., Austin Cindric, Michael McDowell, Austin Dillon, and Joey Logano are your other Daytona 500 winners.
Golly. I hope somebody this is going to sound bad. I hope somebody who's destined for the Hall of Fame wins this race.
Yeah.
That would be nice. I think we need that.
Daytona 500 win as a step in the right direction toward that. That's for sure.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I just saw a graphic my computer's listening to us. I just saw a graphic of all the pole winners recent years.
The first time winners in the Daytona 500. It has happened, let's see, 9 times, James. 9 times it's happened. 1963. Was that the first one, probably? No. Tiny Lund did it in 63. Mario Andretti in 67. Pete Hamilton in 70. And then we get to our era. Derek Cope, 1990. Remember that race? Dale Earnhardt led into turn 3. Sterling Marlin in 94. Michael Waltrip in 2001. Trevor Bayne in 2011. I was there. Michael McDowell, 2021. Austin Cindric in 2022.
Wow.
There we go. I could do this all day, but I'll stop now. So
I love it.
Do you want to tease the fantasy one more time?
Yep. Let's do it. I actually just reposted it
Perfect.
on my Twitter, so please come out and hop on. We've had a few people sign up.
Good.
So
awesome.
Hopefully Byron Speedway gave us that bump.
If we already are signed up from last year, we don't need to re-sign up, right? We're just in?
Yes, exactly. Okay, yep. Perfect. Make sure you set your lineup though. Yes. But yeah, it's it's NASCAR.com fantasy. The link's on my Twitter, Twitter/X, like I said, and then make sure you get your picks in. We got some time after qualifying. It'll be after the duels. There'll be a chance to still add it to your lineup and make all your picks. So
there you go.
Hop on in, and then I figured I'll give everybody 3 races, and if I see that some people are at 0 and haven't picked, I'll just kick them out of the league. But other than that, we'll leave everybody else in there. So come on in.
Good deal. Looking forward to it. Everybody can see how terrible I am at it. It's a common theme. Any checkered flags or black flags this week, James? I know we didn't really have any racing this week, but got anything?
Yeah. Checkered flag to love. Taylor Swift. She did it.
Yeah.
At the Super Bowl.
There you
Eric,
go.
I've been hoping for my team to win a Super Bowl my entire life, and all the Swifties got to watch 3 months of football and finally got their Super Bowl. It's devastating.
Yeah,
it's devastating. But love wins, man. Love always wins.
Are you on the boat of annoyed that Taylor Swift gets attention over this, or are you just like
not anymore?
Crap?
Nope, I'm on Team Taylor now.
Whatever. If people are super excited about it, that's great for them. I've made fun of it and whatever, but it's cool. I mean, good for them.
If people are going to get mad about 58 seconds out of a 4-hour TV broadcast, right. You haven't watched NASCAR and didn't live through the Danica Patrick era.
Yeah,
so
right.
That's
no
all
kidding.
I have to say. We've suffered. Okay, we know what that looks like.
No kidding. It's always nice to see the 49ers choke again in the Super Bowl. I'm a big fan of that.
Yep. So. This isn't a black flag, but it could be. The Ferrari drivers did a round table with Joey Logano that's been making the rounds on Twitter. Hilarious.
Okay.
Hilarious. I'll call that a checkered flag too, but it's actually seeing F1 drivers impressed with one of our drivers makes me happy. That's all I'll say.
There you go. Nice.
I'll say.
Nice.
Yep.
I'm trying to think. Dale Jr.'s got Jeff Gordon this week on his show.
Oh, his Marty Smith podcast was so good.
Yeah, I know.
So
I
good.
didn't listen to it, but I knew you'd be all over
Oh
it.
man, yeah, I had to hop in. Silly
Yep.
me. Really good though. Marty, man,
Yeah.
legend. What a
Yeah.
legend. Anyway,
Yeah, I don't have anything. No checkered flags or black flags from me. Like I said, okay, checkered flag for the 49ers for tanking again. That's good to see. I will always cheer for the 49ers losing in the Super Bowl. That's good stuff.
watching their fans feel the pain that I felt,
Yeah. Yeah.
that was like a weight lifted off my shoulders.
My boss lives out there and was cheering for him, so I was all right with that. Actually, I haven't seen him since they lost.
Don't say that too loud.
Right?
Yeah.
Well, he was rooting against the Lions, so I'm all right with giving him a little crap. So
Good.
all right, James. You mentioned people can find the fantasy stuff on your Twitter. How they?
Yep.
Where's that?
At James Cush on Twitter, Kuch. James Cush on Twitter.
You can find me at T Super Speedway on Twitter. I tweeted today for the first time in a while, so I take that back. I tweet the links to the show and everything. Speaking of which, how about a black flag for iTunes and how freaking long it takes for the show to load into? I guess not iTunes anymore. Apple Podcasts. For God's sakes, it takes forever. I've been going to bed before the thing loads.
I tell you what, it's right there when I go to load up my app. That bad boy's in there.
Dude,
so
I'm telling you,
I have not seen any problems. But Spotify's been doing really good
every night. Yeah, Spotify's doing well. So if you see the link go out on Twitter, I mean, first of all, you should just subscribe if you're listening. So just do that. Then you don't have to worry about it. But if you see the link go out on Twitter and it doesn't have the Apple Podcast link in there, I'll tweet the link out the next day. It's just I got tired of waiting. So. We're on Facebook at facebook.com/thesuperspeedway. Our website is thesuperspeedway.com. Basically, you can find show notes on there. There's old race coverage and stuff like that too. But show notes, stuff we discussed, we'll usually link to articles that we've discussed, things like that. Subscribe for new episodes each week. We're here for the long haul for the season. Now that we get things rolling, we usually only take time off during the off weeks, and sometimes not even then. So check back each week for a new episode and our take on whatever happened the past weekend in NASCAR. And if you go to anchor.fm/thesuperspeedway, you can leave us an audio message, and we may just play it on the show. While you're at it, leave us a review, give us a like on all the podcast platforms, all that stuff. We'd really appreciate it. Anything you can do to move us up the ranking a little bit, we appreciate everybody who listens each week. We see you. We see you out there, so let's interact and join the Fantasy League. Come racing with us. Daytona 500 weekend this weekend. Hopefully the weather holds off. We'll be back next week to talk about it all and get us ready for the second race in the season. Until then, everybody, let's go racing.